Well, thank you so much for getting the Scarlet Shirt pattern. So let's get started before the head. I will be adding some parts where I use a zigzag stitch, just so you know how to use it and where to use it. In the short sleeve version, you will have the full process with a zigzag stitch, so you can see the finish, how it looks like. I do like finishing some parts with bias tape, so I do prefer that. So if you like that, you can go ahead and do that. I'm gonna be showing you all the parts and all the things that I do, like I finish the original Scarlet. And in the short sleeve version, I will be also using ribbons instead of the traditional that it comes with the pattern. So you will be having like a modification over there. And you can also go ahead and do like the first version or another version. After saying that, happy sewing. So we're gonna get started with the paper pattern. You just go ahead and follow the guide. I would recommend you 100% that. I'm using a ruler just to mark the parts where I should cut. The guide will recommend you what parts you should paste first. The most important part is that this mark must be aligned. I also recommend you to set apart the list. This will help you so much with each part of the pattern. Some interfacing that is not so hard for the neckline. So the front pattern is not cut on fold, so you will need just one from each side. So for the parts that are on fold, you have to fold your fabric in two and put the pattern close to the edge. So in the interfacing, the part that is shiny is gonna paste to the fabric. So before cutting your pattern, have that in mind. So we're gonna start with the front strap. So we're gonna fold one of the edges and then fold at the middle 2 edges, and we're gonna press with the iron. And we're gonna go ahead and fold again at the middle of what we did recently and ironing again. These are gonna be the front straps that close the shirt. So we're gonna sew from one side and then go ahead and sew all around the edge that we have open. So we will have one raw edge and then a closed edge from the other side. So we're gonna go ahead and do the color and the interfacing for it. So we're gonna place the shiny part from the inside of the fabric and then iron everything a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same with the front facing. We're gonna place the shiny part from the inside of the fabric. Mark my fabric from the front with a chop and also do all my notches right now. You can also go ahead and do chop or just use a mini scissor like I did. Okay, so for the front is a little bit different. I'm gonna mark where the ribbons should start from one side and then from the other side. You can do all the marks you need. Instead of doing where they should start, you can go ahead and do everything or mark whatever you need. So go ahead and check that they align correctly, mainly before I get anything started. I'm gonna start with the right front. I'm gonna put the raw edge at the edge of the shirt where I put my first mark of the ribbon. Now I'm gonna place my front facing. I'm gonna put the interfacing to the top. So I'm gonna place the fronts together. So we're doing this just to flip over the fabric. And we're gonna secure everything with a single stitch from the front. We're also gonna do the same from the other side. Once we attach the straps from both sides, we're gonna check that they fit correctly and close perfectly. So if you want to do the ribbons modification, we're gonna start by measuring the straps that we have and multiply it by 6, the number that we got. Mainly just to know how much ribbon we need. You can select the color that you like for the ribbon, so it depends on you. And we're gonna also burn the raw edges of the ribbon. And then we're going to do everything as we did with the straps. So we're going to place each ribbon where the strap should start, and we're going to do the same like we did before. Everything with overlock just to do the seams, but in the other video with the long sleeve version we did French seams, so it does depend on you. Actually, I will be using my normal zigzag stitch so you can see how it goes. If you're going for a zigzag stitch, you just have to mark zigzag on your sewing machine and go ahead and close to the edge and sew. We're gonna do this with all the parts of our shirt and push to one side the seam that we just did. And iron it. Once we did that, from the right side of the fabric, we're gonna go ahead and do a secure stitch. I'm gonna do this with all the parts of the front and the back. So I'm attaching each part of the shirt and then doing a zigzag stitch over the seam, and this is how it's gonna look from the inside. Like I said before, we're gonna do pressing the seams to one side and then doing a secure stitch. Once you attach the back part, we're gonna be pressing the seams, so from each side, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a secure stitch with every part of the shirt. So this is how it's gonna look like from the outside, and this is from the inside. Again, you can do overlock or just zigzag stitch, it does depend on you. And now we're gonna go ahead and place the shoulder and close them. We're gonna sew the two fronts together, and then we're gonna go ahead and overlock or zigzag stitch that seam and then press it again and do a secure stitch like we did with the bodice. Before pressing the seams, we're gonna check that everything fits correctly and that you really like everything. We can go ahead and start with the collar. Right now we have the front that is interfacing and also the other side that doesn't have anything. I'm gonna mark the middle because I do like some guidance. And I'm also gonna put the fronts together. And I'm gonna sew over there once I marked everything. I'm also gonna leave 1 centimeter or more. You have it marked on the pattern just so I can then put it over the body. You will see it better once we get over there. Once we sew everything, we're gonna do little cuts just so when we flip over the collar it's better. Do it like really near to the line, but don't like cut it. Once we flip it over, we can go ahead and iron it just to secure everything, and we're gonna attach it to the bodice. We're gonna attach to the bodies the interfacing part. I always recommend to start from the middle, so mark the middle and then you're gonna go from one side and then from the other side. Just to have in mind, you do have to put the fronts together and you're gonna do it from the outside. Once you secure everything with pins, you just go ahead and sew everything we did before. Once you finish that, you're gonna press the seam to the inside of the collar so you won't be able to see it. So once we did that, we're gonna push 1 centimeter or less inside of what we did before. We're also gonna push inside what we did left before unsewn, the 1 centimeter from the side. And we're gonna use as guideline what we sewed before, like under. So we're gonna push everything inside until when we reach the previous sew. And we're gonna make a secure stitch from the inside of the shirt. Now we're gonna go with the sleeve. We have 2 pleats over here. I'm gonna mark everything, and it's important that you mark the front of the sleeve and the back because one pleat goes forward and the other one goes back. So once we mark every notch and every pleat, we're gonna go ahead and secure. I also like to mark the other side of the paper just when I do the other sleeve. Now we're gonna close the sleeve, so we're gonna put the 2 fronts together, sew, and then do overlock or zigzag stitch seam and press it over. Then we're gonna do overlock or zigzag stitch to the hem of the sleeve. And then we're gonna fold the hem 1 centimeter inside, and this is how it's gonna look like. I also did bias tape, so you have both options. It does depend on how you like your finish. If you like to see how I position and use the bias tapes, you can go ahead and see the long sleeves version video. And now we're gonna attach the sleeves to the bodies. After we've sewn both sleeves, we're gonna go ahead and do overlock to the seams. After we did the zigzag stitch, we're gonna secure everything and do a single stitch from the outside of the body. When you press the seam, it should be from the side of the bodice, not the side of the sleeve. And we're gonna do this to both sleeves. This is how it's gonna look like from the outside, and this is how it's gonna look like from the inside of the body. We're gonna touch again close to the edge from the front of the bodice, the bias tape. And we're gonna sew over the marked line that we have in our bias. Again, we're doing something pretty similar that we did with the sleeves. And we're gonna press it over and towards the inside of the bodice. And we're gonna use the iron to press everything. The edges, I usually put 1 centimeter inside of the bias tape. So now we're gonna flip it over again towards the inside of the bodice. So this way you won't be able to see the bias tape from the outside. What we're gonna do is just to sew one time. So we're gonna double pressing it with the iron, just like this. We're gonna secure it really close to the bias and the end of it. And these are the final results from the inside and also from the outside. I think